Hey everyone, welcome back to ACT Math Quick Hits, where you can make this one small change and watch a video a day. Doesn't cost you any money, only costs you a little bit of time, and you're going to help improve your ACT score by improving your ACT math score. So there's a rundown of the math section of the ACT, and let's get back into it for today. Ooh, look at this one with a tree in it. All right, which of the following expressions equals the height in feet of the tree shown? Okay, so we have a right triangle, and then everything, all my answer choices all contain a trig function. So this is going to be right triangle trig. So hopefully you remember some of your right triangle trig that we can use. So maybe at one point you heard this idea of SOHCAHTOA, right, where our sine always equals the opposite over the hypotenuse. The cosine is always the adjacent over the hypotenuse, and the tangent is always the opposite over the adjacent. So we need to use one of these. It doesn't really tell us which one, right? We have, if we look at our answer choices, we have sine, cosine, and tangent. One of them even has a fraction in it. So we got to figure out what we're dealing with here. So I have an angle here, so angle 40. So that's what we call our reference angle. And then I have an 18 feet that's right next to it. And then I have the tree side, which is across from it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to label all these sides in terms of that reference angle. So the side that's always across from the 90 degree, that's always our hypotenuse. I'm going to use lowercase letters here. I know I used capital in the other piece. So that's our hypotenuse. The 18 feet, that's right next to the 40 degrees. It helps make the 40 degree angle. That's our adjacent, right? Adjacent means right next to. So then obviously there's only one more piece, the piece of the tree, right, in terms of that 40 degree angle. That's the opposite side. So now I have my tree correctly labeled, so now I can figure out which trig function do I need to utilize. So what I need to deal with, right, if I'm going to be able to do this calculation, I obviously need the opposite. So that takes cosine out, right, because cosine does not have the opposite in it, so we can get rid of choice C. And then I need the adjacent. So the only trig function that deals with the opposite and the adjacent is tangent, right? Sine has the opposite, but we would need the hypotenuse, which we don't have in this case. So sine is out, so that means choice B is out. Right, so at the very least, we could guess between A or D because we need tangent, right? Like, let's say this is the last question and you're running out of time. Well, at least I've narrowed it down to two of them just by doing a little bit of recognition, and then you can at least, guess as opposed to, doing all the calculations. But let's do all the calculations. So if I'm going to write this, so remember, we have the tangent. So tangent, I'm going to do a little bit further instead of just that little shorthand notation. The tangent of any angle, we always use theta to represent our angle, equals the opposite over adjacent. Kind of combine those words there. All right, so what do I have, right? My angle is 40 degrees. So the tangent of 40 degrees is equal to the opposite is what I don't know, and then the adjacent is that 18 feet. Right, so that's an O, right, not a 0. That's a variable. And then I need to express this in terms of calculating that opposite side. So what I would have to do is I would have to get that opposite side by itself. So I would have to multiply both sides by that 18, and then that's what cancels the division of the 18 over here. So I have my opposite equals this value of 18 times this tangent of 40 degrees. So again, notice I didn't multiply the 18 and the 40 together. Obviously, there's no answer choice that does that. I'm actually kind of surprised because that would be a common error. But there's my opposite by itself, right, which corresponds to choice A. Inking, so then I can select choice A. All right, so thanks for watching, everyone. I know that ACT Math Prep is not the most exciting stuff out there, but we're just here to learn about the ACT, learn some math, learn a Desmos hack when we can, and help improve your ACT math score. So make sure you like and subscribe because your future self will appreciate continuing to see these videos before you take the ACT. Thanks, everyone.